whatever career you go in or whatever direction you want to pursue, you're always going to go through this dip phase where that's where the struggle is, where you're not getting the feedback that you want, you're not getting all the results that you want, and it's a real struggle. But in that phase, you learn if this is really what you want, right? Are you willing to go through all those hardships to make it through the point where eventually hard work pays off?
2 a.m. in the car playing our favorite song.
Hello my beautiful friends, welcome back to Hygge and Happiness. My name is Jackie and today we are going to talk about a certain topic that seems to be popular among millennials and Gen Zs, and it's having a creative job that gives you the independence to work for yourself, create your own hours, basically be your own boss, and maybe even have the freedom to travel the world. Whenever I talk to my creative friends, it seems to be one of the top reasons why we want this kind of job. We want to have freedom to make money the way that we want to make money. And honestly, I feel like in this generation, people just want to really enjoy the work that they do. So there seems to be a trend going around YouTube that says like, I don't have a dream job, but then again, they always talk about wanting to be creators and work for themselves, and they don't want to be tied down to working a corporate job. So it seems like they do have a dream job, and that's to really work for themselves and to create something of their own. And that's why I wanted to go further into this topic and really discover the reality of what it's like to have a creative job and work for yourself and being able to travel the world. And that is why today I am so excited, because I am talking to Ste and Rach from the Soul Ride. If you don't know who they are actually a channel here on YouTube that makes personal development fun. Their videos are so creative, I can't even explain it, so you'll have to see for yourself. And roll the clips.
What if we told you that nail polish, horse poop, and a diamond are the answers to one of life's most existential questions? Who the heck am I? Well, if you struggle with self-worth and understanding your true authentic self, this episode is for you. So, what do you think?
I don't know. It's a little over the top. Can't we just say something like, hey guys, honestly, I'm still trying to figure out who I truly am because it's constantly evolving. But we found the concept we're about to share in this video really helpful, and we hope you do too. We're on a mission to make personal growth fun and create a community of free-spirited friends who dare to be happy through the ups and downs of life.
We're Ste and Rach, and this is Soul Ride.
Am I right? Right? Isn't it amazing? I cannot get enough of their videos. Like, I wish I had their talent, and I will someday. They're so talented, and I can't wait for you to learn more about them. They have their own agency, as well as creating their YouTube channel. So if you're a content creator, or you have your own small business, or you're a freelancer, I think that this interview with Ste and Rach will really benefit you. So I hope you enjoy this conversation, and let's go ahead and meet Ste and Rach of the Soul Ride.
So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
It's an honor.
Perfect. Well, I know that you work in social media, you have your own social media agency, and you get to travel the world, which is amazing. So first of all, I want to learn a little bit about your story, basically how you're able to travel the world and explore different cultures, because I think that's a dream that many people have.
Yeah, for sure. So do you want
I'll let Ste summarize this.
Okay, so I'll try to make it quick. So basically, we've been doing this now for the last 4 years. We managed to jump on social media, specifically on Instagram, when it was a relatively new platform. And we got experience in how to grow a community there. And we managed to grow 2 pages in the travel and food niche, which now have over 1 million followers. And so those pages gave us a lot of opportunities, and it put us in contact with a lot of specifically restaurants and hotels, since, you know, they were food and travel related pages. And so we got in contact with these hotels who needed, and restaurants who needed help with social media. And at first it was just like they would invite us in exchange for, you know, a review of the hotel or of the food. But then we realized that there was a better way to help them, to actually, you know, teach them what we learned about social media or actually implement it for them. So we offered it as a service and structured it as an agency. And initially it was in Dubai because that's where we were based. But then we saw the opportunity to structure the business online, and so offer services that didn't really require our presence, specifically Facebook and Instagram ads. And so we started offering that service, which allowed us to structure the business online. And since then, we've traveled for, I think, like 2 or 3 years until COVID hit. And now we're back in Switzerland. But yeah, that's quickly just a summary of how it happened. But actually, like, we have, since COVID hit, we pivoted the business model of the agency because, obviously, hotels and restaurants were heavily affected by what happened. And so we decided to kind of switch the direction of the agency. And now we started offering the same service, or a very similar service, but to the creator economy. So bigger YouTubers or creators that are starting their own business and don't really know how to promote it to people outside their community, which is something that we are also much more passionate about because we, created our own YouTube channel. And so we feel like there's a lot of synergies there with, making money from the agency, but also learning from other bigger YouTubers that we work with so that we can apply those lessons to our YouTube channel. And it's been helping so much.
Yeah, I can definitely see that in your content.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's like so much production, so much quality. And I think that's amazing. Like quality over quantity, I think, when it comes to YouTube.
We're big believers in that too, for sure.
So what's your day-to-day routine like then, since you have your own agency and plus you have your own YouTube channel and you work with big YouTubers? So it must be like a busy day for you both.
It's always a busy day.
Yeah. Do you want to give the breakdown of the day-to-day?
Yeah, well, the day-to-day, well, first we have to kind of summarize like the month. In the month, we try to do 1 week, which is like solely dedicated to full-on agency work. So making sure that we give our full attention to our clients and get all the work that needs to be organized for them to set up for the rest of the month. And then for the other 3 weeks, it's focused more on our YouTube, our growth, our learning. Plus, also, obviously, you always have to do the little tasks here and there for the agency work. But, we also have a team working with us. So it's not just us two doing everything on the agency. So we have that flexibility, which is great. And it's so important because YouTube in itself is like a full-time job. So if we didn't have, if we didn't have help with this, it would be a really big struggle to be able to try and balance both. But yeah, in the day-to-day, I mean, it really, we take it as it comes. The night before we say we look at the priorities we have for that week. And then we say, the night before, what is it that we need to get done tomorrow to be able to achieve and tick off the weekly priorities that we set ourselves.
So I think basically what happens is that we always create like our weekly priorities, let's say on a Sunday, and the week starts on Monday. So on Sunday, we already created our weekly priorities, the big things we want to get done. And then the night before every day, we create the daily to-dos. We wake up at 7 and we usually do our morning routine for an hour, which is workout, meditation, and journaling and cold showers. And then
I don't commit to the journaling in the mornings anymore.
Yeah. The ones that like we never skip on is the exercise and the cold showers as well. Meditation and journaling is something that like it comes and goes depending if we're rushed, sometimes we skip it, but I would like to do more meditation, to be honest. And then basically after that, we just get straight into work, and we work from like 8 or 9 until 10 p.m. And then at 10 p.m. we have 1 hour off to just like unplug, because it's so hard for us to, go straight from like work to bed. We always have like thoughts going on in our head. So yeah, it's honestly not very exciting. It's a lot of work, and we take 1 day off a week to unplug completely. But other than that, like right now we're still very much in the grind and hustle phase to like build up, our community on YouTube and make sure that the agency is still running and balancing those two. So it is a lot of work. And Rach went through a burnout at the end of last year.
Yeah. I am not someone who can live for the hustle, like I need my breaks. I need that one day off in the week where I really dedicate to unwinding and just taking that time for self-care, you know, going outside, seeing the world outside of work, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
that's one thing that like Rach has been super good at, because yeah, she said like I can get a bit sucked into like achieving our goals, but at the same time, like I know how important, I know that's not like, there's so much more to life than just, work and accomplishing your goals. And even if you're super passionate about what you do, I think it's important to have a balance. And that's where Rach is much better at it and helps me like, hey, we should have a date night. Like we have, I'm like, oh God, yes, we should.
But do you have any advice for people who kind of want this lifestyle of having your own freedom and being creative? And I definitely, it's not easy. You have to keep hustling and hustling for it. But what advice do you have for people that want to pursue creativity in life and also be in social media?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a really good question. I think for us, like one of the key things is you really have to be passionate about what you're doing, because it's such a hard path that if you're not passionate, you're gonna give up. And it's one of those fields where you really need to persist, and like with time you need to get better and better, and eventually, you're gonna be able to make a living from it. At least we're big believers in that. But at the same time, like, and again, this is different from everyone. We can only speak on our experience, but for us, it was also really important to have something like money coming in while we were pursuing our creative career, now as like going on YouTube and building that community. Like we're not making any money from that. And that's why we have the agency, which can sustain us doing that. Because otherwise, you hear a lot of advice from people, just like follow your dreams and just quit your job and do it. And like while there's definitely true, we understand where that's coming from, and we've also probably given that advice, but like now when we think about it, it's like you also want to be smart and understand like, okay, it is a path that like is gonna take time, so you also have to find ways to like sustain yourself as you do it, and potentially find synergies. And that's why we shifted our agency now to work with YouTubers, because now it doesn't feel anymore like, oh gosh, like I'm doing something I don't like here, and here I'm like working on the YouTube channel, but it's making no money. It's like, okay, here we're learning from these big YouTubers who are paying us, but we're also getting so much insights which we can apply to our own thing. So I think it's like important to also be smart about it and try to find synergies.
Yeah, I think that's like a big thing to keep in mind is connect with other creators, start to network with people and talk to people who are in the position that you want to be in. And that's where you'll learn the most information. I mean, we've learned more in the past 2 months from really applying that and really getting our faces out there to the bigger creators that we want to learn from than we did in the year of doing the stuff on our own, right? And so, yeah, huge importance in trying to network with other creators and getting into that world rather than sitting on the outside and watching.
Yeah, that's so true as well.
Yeah, that helped me a lot because I have been burnt out. I have a full-time job as well, plus I'm doing YouTube, and like I just want to grow it so badly. And it is really hard. And sometimes I feel like giving up, and I'm like, no, I love making videos and I can't imagine a life without, creating and filming. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I think you learn a lot from that, though, like being in the dip. Like this concept is something that we've been talking about a lot of,
Yeah.
Everyone, whatever career you go in or whatever direction you want to pursue, you're always going to go through this dip phase where that's where the struggle is, where you're not getting the feedback that you want, you're not getting all the results that you want, and it's a real struggle. But in that phase, you learn if this is really what you want, right? Are you willing to go through all those hardships to make it through the point where eventually hard work pays off and you start to, see the
Get
results come
momentum.
in?
Yeah.
But a lot of
Yeah.
people give up before that time comes.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
there's nothing wrong in that. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But yeah, just understanding that that's the process. You're not going to get immediate results. I mean, most people don't. So just preparing that for that and managing your expectations.
Yeah. Also, we totally have not figured it out yet. We feel like we're still, trying to understand the best way to go about it. But we're definitely driven by like so much passion and like this clear vision of, what we want to accomplish, that we're like, all right, let's just try to set ourselves up so that we can achieve that. And as this is another thing that I think is really important, is like, don't get stuck on just one thing. If you see that one thing is not necessarily working, experiment with different styles of content and see what resonates more with people. And that's something we've been trying to do with our content as well.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Thank you. I love it. But okay, on to traveling now. So I know that you got to travel the world as you work. And so what was your favorite country, and what is it like in general getting to travel all over?
I mean, it's amazing. Like, how can you
Yeah.
complain about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we both grew up really fortunate in the fact that we did travel when we were younger because of our parents' jobs and moving around like that. It opened us up to the opportunity of travel at an early age. So it was something that we wanted to have as part of our lifestyle, moving into our own lives, into our adulthood. And so, yeah, it was always something that we wanted to keep in mind, which is why it was a big motivator behind setting up, the business online, to be able to do that. But yeah, just meeting new people, opening yourselves up to different mindsets, different cultures, new opportunities, is just,
it's been amazing, and we really miss it. And we hope we can get back on the road. But to answer the original question, I think our favorite place, I mean, we traveled quite a bit around Southeast Asia. And like Bali and Thailand have become like our second home, especially Bali, since there's such a big community of like-minded people as well. And then Indonesians are just such kind people. The food is amazing. The place is beautiful. It's super cheap and affordable. So
it's just the perfect lifestyle for us.
Yeah.
Like that. It ticks all the boxes for us, apart from being far away from family.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think Bali.
I'd say Bali. Let's go for
Bali.
Bali.
I'd love to go there someday. I've never had Indonesian food before, but still, that sounds amazing. And I know it's near the Philippines. I've only been there. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So has it really like changed your perspective on how you see the world and how you see people?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of the things that we like the most about traveling, is just how like it opens your mind to everything, to how different the world is and to new perspectives. And every time we go on a trip, we come back with so many new insights. And so it really has been amazing. And specifically, like, I think traveling to Southeast Asia has helped us also be so much more grateful for what we have. Like, in Europe, everything works super well, but a lot of people are not as happy as people that are, in Bali or in Thailand, who always have a smile on their face, even if they're living in conditions which are completely different to how it is in Europe. And so I always come out of it with like so much more gratitude.
Yeah. But I think it's awesome how like when you travel, you kind of have to slow down a little bit, because like you said, Ste, you like to hustle, hustle, hustle and grind. But when you're traveling, don't you have to like slow down a little bit and like rather have more days off to explore than work? Or even when you're traveling, do you still kind of have like work mode on?
Yeah, so that's actually a really good question. So what we do is we've structured, let's say, our year when we were traveling more full time, in a way where we could stay in one place for 3 months. So that because if you go to a place for 1 week, then it's impossible to either if you're just working, you're wasting money and not actually
Yeah,
experiencing the
exactly.
place. And so by staying in a place 3 months, we found like a good balance between like working and also exploring. But at the same time, like it definitely is easier to like slow down and focus more on other aspects of life rather than just work when you're traveling. And that's something that I definitely miss, of like going to, in Bali we would go out to dinner almost every night with friends, and that's something that now we haven't really been doing for this last year, obviously because of COVID.
Yeah, it definitely forced us to like slow down a little bit, and just focus on the things that we really want to work on in our life. Thank you so much. I learned so much, and I know that people who are listening to this are going to really benefit and learn more about following your passions and also exploring the world. So thank you so much, Ste and Rach.
Thank you for
We
having
hope
us.
there
Thank
is
you.
value.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Ste and Rach. I had so much fun talking to them about what they do, their creative career, and their ability to travel the world. Like, I would love to go to Bali someday and just see the beauty of this world. And that is what could happen if you do have a job that allows you to create your own schedule and see the world. So I hope you all enjoyed. A creative job and a dream job looks different for everyone. So I want to know yours. So go ahead and comment down below what your dream creative job is, or just what your dream job is in general. I would love to learn more about you. Again, Hygge Happiness is a community not just about living a peaceful and joyful life, but it's about finding jobs and activities and hobbies that really make you happy in life. It's one of my passions, and so I hope we can all be friends in this community. So I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
I would give it all away to do it all again. Make our love a story that would never